What is on your never again list? I have been on fire twice in my life. I'm trying to avoid being on fire again. I would strongly suggest not being on fire. I'm imagining you staring into a raging fireplace, trying to resist, like some sort of recovering addict. No, Mackenzie 71. It has been 2 years since you were aflame. But it's so warm. Stay strong. Don't dive in. Well, what if I have just a little bit of fire? I would like to suggest you avoid being hit by cars as a pedestrian as well. It only ends in pain. Your physical pain and the driver's financial pain. Source: 5 ducking times. It's like I have a bad brakes magnet in my ass. How about stop wandering into traffic? Damn it. Don't ever try to convince yourself that you can wash the shampoo out of a Head and Shoulders bottle well enough that you can fill the bottle with whiskey and sneak it into an all-ages concert. But why would you bring a bottle of shampoo to a concert? On the logic that if you had it in your backpack, security wouldn't say anything, which worked. Just crotch a flask, man. Drinking vanilla extract. Smells so good, but tastes so bad. I drank a whole bottle on a dare. It was homemade, so it had vodka in it. I almost died of alcohol poisoning when I was 12. Eating one of everything from the McDonald's dollar menu in one sitting. Do you need someone to talk to? I mean, there's really no need to try and kill yourself like that. Trying to impress other people. Your 24 comment karma confirms this. Never seriously date someone who's willing to cheat on their current partner to be with you. Always ends in bad times. One of the golden rules in life: if they'll cheat with you, they'll cheat on you. Everybody knows this, but they still have to learn this the hard way. Marriage. I'm content in my marriage, but he's older, so I expect to outlive him by many years. Once he's gone, I'm done. I'll just become a crazy cat lady hermit. This is the secret to a healthy marriage. Always look forward to the death of your spouse and the subsequent years you will spend alone. Or what the feels. Being overweight. Lost 40 kgs over the last 2 years. Never going back. I'll never pour sugar from a jar on my strawberries without checking if it's salt first. Was it salt? It was cocaine. It was probably methamphetamine or a placebo. Tequila. But every once in a while, I forget that I have that on my list, only to be reminded the next day. Mom says I'm what happens when you drink tequila. Cocaine. Tried it once, had an amazing night and immediately thought to myself, how so that's why people get hooked on it. It was a fun experiment, but not one I need to repeat. Elaborate. I'm curious. Lots of energy, lots of happiness, mild feeling of invincibility. I did it on my prom night with my best friend and partied until like 6 AM without faltering. Don't really have a lot of details as it was nearly a decade ago, but I just remember coming down in the morning and thinking, holy shit, that stuff felt great. Same story. Partied all night. I had work at 6 AM, so I tried to sleep at 4 AM. Nope. I sat up in my bed until my alarm went off. Went to work in a grocery store, still jacked up. Worked faster than I ever worked. Boss noticed I got a promotion. After I received my promotion, I sat in the freezer and cried for 3 hours cause I was exhausted. Rubbing my eyes after handling jalapenos. I did this once, except replace rubbing my eyes with trying to remove contact lenses. Me and my stepbrother jumped on a sketchy apartment elevator at the same time to scare my sister. I'm neither confirming or denying that we fell 2.5 floors and were stuck for an hour in the dark. Sorry C's. First year of college, I was in an elevator at a conference, Comdex, in Vegas. A CS professor jokingly said 1, 2, 3, jump in an elevator packed tightly with stupid college kids. We all did a half-hearted little hop, with a couple trying to jump a bit higher. The elevator ground to a halt. We pried the doors open and found we had about an 18-inch step up to the next floor. We all bolted, professors included. I'm sure we were on a million cameras, but nothing came off it. The Russian roulette of social experiments. Salvia. I know what hell is like now. I did salvia once and now I know what it feels like to be the spiral of a notebook with the same damn thing on every page shut was wild. Sleeping with socks on. The last time that happened, I woke up with one in my pocket and the other had vanished. Did you sleep in the washing machine? When I was younger, my friends and I thought it would be funny to insert really long anal beads into both of our anuses and run away from each other as fast as possible. It ended up with 2 prolapsed bumholes. Never again. But on the plus side, best man's speech anecdote is already written. Sugar free Haribo gummy bears. They tasted Haribo. Beer bong any sort of hard alcohol. Is this beer? No, it's whiskey, but I watered it down with beer. Let's do this. Cancer. I always tell people, if I had known it was going to be that much of a hassle, I never would have had cancer in the first place. Whole bag of flaming hot Cheetos. Oh god, my butthole. You're supposed to eat them. Turning on other players' mix while playing a PlayStation game online. I'm a grown-up who loves playing games, but I hate the community. You're a bunch of racist, misogynist relics of the past. Noob. Earlier today I tried being creative while preparing my steak. Decided to add some honey and random spices I thought would fit. Worst decision ever. Smelled like shit and tasted even worse. Stubborn me decided to eat half of it before giving up. Duck up number 2. My sweat smells like that ducking steak and it doesn't go away in the shower. So I guess I'll add cooking without instructions to my list. Why? The only seasoning steak needs is fire. Making bacon naked. The logic seemed sound. Nair on the genitals. My balls looked like peeled grapefruits. Is that not what you wanted? Grapefruits, not grapes. Vegas. It's like a mix of Mozilla like Cantina and a glittery litter box. Working in a call center. It's a miserable job and I'd rather throw myself off a building than have to do it again. Threesome. Never again. I'm a lot more territorial than I ever imagined. There's an extremely ducked up story about this somewhere on Reddit. The guy thought he was okay with it, but in the heat of the moment he lost his mind and his marriage basically got screwed over after the deed was done. The story he told makes you want to puke. I don't remember how it concluded, but I don't think the guy could ever look at his wife the same. He ended up crying in the corner of the bed with a limp dick, while his wife moaned with pleasure and begged the other guy to duck her harder. It was brutal. Recreational opiate use. Sure, let's just negate all motivation forever again. Couldn't possibly backfire. Opiates are like a cheat code that overrides the brain. All goals met, all dreams achieved, happiness certain, until it wears off, and you realize you have less happiness than ever, your dreams are further away than ever, and the only solution you can think of is another pill. Duck that. My dreams are still insanely far away, my motivation is still lacking, but at least I'm done cheating. Avoid fixing the toilet seat. Sat down, it twisted, torn my sack. Duck that hurt. Turns out relish isn't a very good sex lube. As a kid I had the bright idea of spraying Lynx Africa on my asshole so that I would smell great all over. My ass is still tingling today. I miss the pains down in Africa. I will never shave my pubes again. So itchy and irritating. I'll just trim it. I like to shave my pubes with a straight razor / shavette. Unlike most razors it cuts the hair instead of pulling it, so it doesn't itch. Also makes my crotch and nutsack unbelievably smooth. Childbirth. Geez, I love you too, mom. After 4 kids I shut up shop. Not washing my hands before peeing immediately after a big Maryland boiled crab meal. By seasoning up my urethra. Fyaha. Now just why are you touching your urethra to go piss? You have to pry it open first. One night stands. I'm way too ducking awkward for that. Yeah, I keep too much stuff by my bed for it to be viable. I need at least 2. Sex show in Thailand. To be fair, I did learn that the vajayjay can do much more than just taking in ducks. But never again. Using my blender to chop up garlic and then using it again to make a strawberry smoothie. A former roommate used to make smoothies all the time. He'd use peanut butter, milk, bananas, frozen strawberries, protein powder, and whatever fruit was in the fridge. Once we had a large tray of salad in there, and he added a bunch of lettuce to a smoothie, figuring that half of it would go to waste otherwise. That turned out better than expected. He had this absurdly powerful blender that would probably liquefy rocks. Unfortunately, this was the same roommate who thought that we'd save money if he went and bought a 50-pound bag of onions. We had a lot of onions to spare, and emboldened by the success with the lettuce, he decided to make an onion flavored smoothie. He did this by pouring milk into the blender and adding a whole banana and a whole large white onion. As soon as he turned on the blender, the apartment was filled with an acrid stench that made your eyes water. It took hours to get the smell out, but despite the clear warning signs, he actually drank the smoothie. He assured me that it wasn't bad and tried in vain to get me to have some.